Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Kara. I run a blog called Gold a la Mode. I started off as a home decor blogger and I've moved into wellness and health and healing just due to my own health. I especially wanted to start doing these videos because I'm on this new journey for adrenal fatigue and I wanted to take you guys along the ride, and no matter what the outcome is, I'm hoping some of the information from now on will help someone, even if it just helps one person. That's really important to me. Going forward, I'm not a doctor by any means. I'm sharing purely out of my own experience, my own thoughts. There might be some things that you might not agree with or you might think are wrong, and that's okay. I'm just reiterating information at the best of my understanding from doctors that are helping me, and I hope it helps someone. If you have any questions at all or anything that you think would be helpful to anyone else, please comment in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to see future videos and follow along this journey. So first, I'll start with telling you my story and how I got here. So I've been dealing with health problems for probably 10 years. They started very slight. It started probably when I was around 18, and it just started with headaches. I was getting bad headaches probably a couple times a month. And now, 10 years later, I have a pounding headache every single day, along with a laundry list of other symptoms. I could count on both hands the amount of diagnoses that I've gotten: fibromyalgia, lupus, Lyme, Epstein Barr, depression, anxiety, hypoglycemia. Honestly, I could probably keep going, but I forget. The first doctor I saw was my primary doctor. She did blood work. I actually came back positive for Lyme, and she said it was negative. So I didn't even get proper Lyme treatment until about 7 or 8 months after, when a rheumatologist did more blood work and she told me it was in fact positive. I went back and looked at the blood work, and the other blood work was positive as well. And along with Lyme being positive at that time, Epstein Barr, lupus, they were both positive. My blood was clotting. It's just been a whole mess of things going wrong with my health. Some of my symptoms are chronic fatigue, headaches, muscle and joint pain, heart palpitations, extreme fatigue and pain after doing exercises or anything physical, panic attacks, anxiety, depression. One of the other symptoms was heat intolerance. So I noticed when I would take a bath or a shower, my legs would just feel really swollen, like they were gonna blow up, and they would turn bright red and get like white blotches on them, which I never understood. But with mystery illnesses come mystery symptoms, I guess. Digestive problems. I mean, there's like a whole ton of things that go along with this. So I've been on this journey to figure out what's exactly wrong with me and what is the root cause of why I don't feel well. There have been a couple things that led up to this. The first one being my childhood was a little, I'm not even gonna say a little, my childhood was traumatic, and it left me with a lot of fear, a lot of instability. It just left me feeling not safe. So my brain pretty much developed to be in fight or flight at all times. And even though my last 10 or 11 years of my life have been really calm and relaxing and just safe, my body does not respond to stress very well. So getting the diagnosis of Lyme 2 years ago was very stressful. The symptoms were really hard on my body. I think that's when a lot of things started going wrong. And after that, like, fear of health problems really set in. So I became fearful of every single thing. Every piece of food I put in my body, every place I went, everything I smelled, it was just, I was just living my life in pure fear of making my health worse. So that's been the last 2 years, and just in the last couple months, I feel like my body took such a beating. One being, I did an intense Lyme protocol in December. I was working with a Lyme specialist, and he gave me antibiotics and a bunch of supplements, a bunch of antivirals, most of them natural, and then we added in a second antibiotic, and I'm pretty sure that sent my body into adrenal fatigue because I felt a lot worse and he kept telling me I have to feel worse before I feel better, and it just didn't sound right. It didn't feel right, and I had to go with my intuition, so I stopped that protocol. And about a week or two after I stopped the antibiotics, I actually did an ayahuasca ceremony, which was brutal physically, and that was another thing that sent me further into adrenal fatigue. I love ayahuasca as a medicine. I've done 4 ayahuasca ceremonies previously in August, and they were all wonderful and beautiful. I actually didn't have any symptoms after that. You can actually check out another video where I posted all about my 4 ayahuasca ceremonies in Costa Rica. But in December, I thought I would do it again, but I don't think my body was strong enough, especially after those antibiotics. And after doing that protocol, I'm pretty sure my body went into adrenal fatigue and caused some hypoglycemic problems. And before an ayahuasca ceremony, you don't eat, you fast. So I think I was going into the ceremony already very weak, and towards the end of the ceremony, which it lasted a very long time for me, I just knew that it was a rough ceremony on my body. In January, I went back to the Lyme specialist and we tried again. I told him I wanted to go all natural, and even the supplements that I was on, I think were too strong. The antivirals and everything, my body started crashing again, so I stopped again. And then comes the pandemic. Then I got COVID. That like took me out. I was done. I was terrified of what was going to happen to me because I was so weak. I won't even get into details about how scary it was, but what I'm dealing with after that is a completely crashed adrenal system. My whole system is crashed after it. I just literally gave every ounce of energy I had to beat that, and I'm hopefully now going to recover. Thank God it's over. I wanted to start these videos because I'm actually starting a new protocol with a new doctor. I'm working with Dr. Neville in Pennsylvania out of Climber Healing Center, and this is by no means sponsored. This is actually very expensive. So that's why I'm making these videos, to help future people that are thinking about working with him or doing this protocol. I literally cannot go anywhere else. This is it for me. I've seen every doctor, primary, endocrinologist, rheumatologist, neurologist, cardiologist. I even went to go check and make sure I didn't have any, I forget what they're called, like dead tissue in my jaws. So I went to like a specialist for my teeth. I've literally been everywhere. So this was it for me. Anyway, I'm going to show you some of the things that they send out in the first box, and I'm going to share every bit along the way. Maybe something will help you. But please remember, every single protocol is different for every single person. So please don't think what I share with you is 100% going to work for you. It just doesn't work like that. Dr. Neville especially treats every single patient differently. Each protocol is 100% different for everyone. For instance, I got my first round of supplements from him. I just started with him about a week ago, and one of them is for my immune system because I just had COVID. So that supplement might not be for you. You might not need it. So, but I'm sharing anyway. You might get some information out of it. He does everything virtually, so he does everything over Zoom. So don't worry, no matter where you live, he can work with you. My hope is that a year from now, someone is Googling Dr. Neville or Googling adrenal fatigue, and I am like 100% healed, living my new life, and it gives you hope and lets you know that you can heal too. So let's get started. I'm gonna dig into this package that I got sent from Dr. Neville and his team, which are wonderful. I feel like I'm their family already. And I'm gonna show you some of the packets and just show you what I'm gonna be doing. This is an unboxing, not the typical influencer unboxing you're used to. I actually paid for this and it was a lot. It's mostly supplements. So I'm going to show you supplements, a book. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the next couple weeks, what they're going to look like for me. And if you work with Dr. Neville, what it would look like for you. Kind of. a 5-point saliva test. This is going to test, I believe, cortisol throughout the day. So I think you test it 5 times a day. I have to read the instructions again, but this is actually the preferred way to check for adrenal fatigue and check your cortisol. I've been checked by blood one time before. My doctor had me do a cortisol test at like 8 in the morning by blood, and it came back on the low end, but it was still normal. So this is a more reliable way to check for adrenal fatigue. You can probably get it from your doctor, or you can probably get one online. So just Google that. The other test that I'm gonna do is a food allergy test kit. So this is gonna show even the most minor food allergies, even just like the slightest ones that didn't come up on my other food test. And I could have a slight food allergy to gluten, to eggs, to something where I'm not getting full-on hives, but it is causing some of that fatigue. So that will be good to take. The other thing you're gonna get is this book called Chronic Fatigue Unmasked. I heard this is a really great book, and I believe it's actually by the doctor that Dr. Neville trained under. And Dr. Neville used to deal with chronic fatigue, adrenal fatigue in college, and nobody had any answers for him. And I believe that's why he went into medicine. So, and then he went to go work for this guy because he liked the book. So yeah, this is supposed to be a really great book for adrenal fatigue. Chronic Fatigue Unmasked 2000 by Gerald E. Posnecker. You can probably get this on Amazon. Okay, so now the fun part. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the supplements that I'm starting on. Again, please research any supplements that you plan on taking. Talk to your doctor about them. This is a protocol that was designed for me personally. And although some of these might be good for people, maybe like one at a time, or you might gain some information, please don't just go take all of these supplements, because it really might not be good for you to do. So you should really talk to a specialist, work with Dr. Nebel, do your research. I don't want to be responsible for anything, okay? Okay, so this first one is called Ganolagro. That's Ganollegro. I'm gonna write all of them in the caption so you guys can look them up. I'm just gonna read a little bit about them. So Ganolagro is a unique combination of herbs that is designed to support and balance your immune system. So I believe I'm being put on this because I had the COVID, and he wants to boost up my immune system again. This high-strength combination is uniquely powerful in controlling the stress-induced Th1 to Th2 shift that happens in the immune system. This shift makes us more vulnerable to infection while leading to excess antibody production at the same time. This is the reason that when we are stressed, we tend to get sick. Ganoderma and licorice also assist in attenuating the HPA axis, the adrenals, and improve the resilience of stress response system. So yeah, the Ganolagro is to boost my immune system. Okay, the second one is royal cod liver oil, or omega-3 DHA. This is 1,200 milligrams, I believe. Omega-3 fatty acids are incredibly beneficial and necessary for the healing of all cells and thus all processes in the body. CLO heals the cells that have been damaged by excess stress hormones over time. We are all deficient in omega-3s. Research on omega-3s shows benefit in the treatment of fatigue, anxiety, depression, chronic pain, immune weakness, and more. That's the fermented cod liver oil, concentrated butter oil. I'm gonna link all of these for you. The next one is called resveratrol. Resveratrol is a bioflavonoid that is found primarily in blue and red grapes and berries, so like in wine. It has been called the French paradox in a bottle because it's found in red wine. Plants produce resveratrol in response to stress of injury, fungal infection, or UV radiation. What does it do? So this is the resveratrol. There's evidence in the research literature that supports the role of resveratrol in modulating the HPA axis, acting as an anti-inflammatory, reducing oxidative stress, stimulating neurogenesis, promoting hippocampal limbic system repair, that's important, supporting certain neurotransmitter levels, as well as stimulating mitochondrial biogenesis. These actions only touch on the effects of this molecule, but they are primarily for our purpose. Neurogenesis, this is like an important word, can be thought of as the healing and rewiring of the CEO of our stress response system. The limbic system, that was the end of the sentence. The healing of the limbic system is like replacing the CEO of a company, for instance, who is toxic and dysfunctional, with an educated, illuminated, progressive, stable CEO and their team. Are you understanding this? Anyway, neurogenesis is great because it rewires your brain. And like for me, I had a lot of childhood trauma. So for me, it's going to help reconnect that and take me out of fight or flight and into healing and rest. The next one is Pregnenolone. Pregnenolone is a pre-hormone that is synthesized primarily by the adrenal glands. It has a minimal direct effect on the tissue itself, although it helps produce other hormones that do. It acts as a mother hormone to more than 50 additional adrenal hormones. Pregnenolone is the first hormone the adrenals create from cholesterol when the body is triggered by stress. Through a cascade of enzymatic action, pregnenolone is then converted into more active hormones such as cortisol, DHEA, aldosterone, and progesterone. Whatever, you get the point. So it's a pre-hormone and it helps all the other hormones is what I take from that. So Pregnenolone, why was it recommended for me? Pregnenolone was recommended for you because your adrenal hormone levels, cortisol and or DHEA, were either frankly low or lower than optimal for your age. Low cortisol and low DHEA are the best indicators of a need for pregnenolone supplementation. Also, it will often be prescribed to patients with low to normal levels of these hormones if they have symptoms such as PMS, menopause, sexual dysfunction, and low libido. So pregnenolone, that's what that is. The next one's licorice root extract. This one's actually made, I don't know if it's made by Dr. Neville, but he definitely sources it himself. So this exact supplement is from their office. So what does it do? Licorice is a key puzzle piece for many of my patients with adrenal dysfunction, especially those in the middle to later stages who exhibit low to normal or low cortisol. Licorice has direct adrenal effects as well as other support for immune, digestive, and reproductive function. The benefits of licorice are many. It takes a load off of your adrenals so they can heal, meanwhile providing energy and stamina to survive. Licorice acts to support and improve the function of cortisol, the major hormone of the adrenal gland, by preventing its breakdown in the body. So it helps stabilize it, I guess. This essentially means it supports your cortisol levels without putting pressure on the HPA axis to work too hard. Most people with adrenal dysfunction do not retain enough sodium and have an excess of potassium caused by relatively low aldosterone, another adrenal hormone. Licorice allows cortisol access to the mineralocorticoid receptors, triggering an increased retention of sodium and lowering of potassium. This is optimal and brings a person with adrenal insufficiency into sodium-potassium balance. The increased sodium causes the body to conserve water, which restores hydration levels. So hydration is also huge. One of the other things he has me doing is putting sea salt or Himalayan salt into my water, a quarter of a teaspoon twice a day. So it has to be just natural salt. It can't be like the white table salt. You have to make sure it doesn't have any like caking agents in it. So that was another thing I'm doing. So this I didn't get from their office. I actually got this from a local pharmacy. Ultra Potent C. It's a buffered vitamin C, which is for immune support, but that's supposed to be better. And it actually has a couple other things in it. Vitamin C, niacin, calcium, sodium, lysine, glutathione. I don't know what the other things are. But anyway, what does vitamin C do? It's a primary antioxidant in the body, the true king of antioxidants. It protects from stress, maintaining physiologic homeostasis. It acts as a catalyst to hundreds of biochemical reactions, greasing the wheels of our biochemical machinery. It decreases toxicity by counteracting and neutralizing reactions to toxins and poisons. It acts as an antibacterial and antiviral. It acts as our primary histamine scavenger, allergy control. It supports production of adrenal stress hormones. Bing, bing, bing. That's what we're looking for. Adequate levels are essential to a good quality of life. Among its many incredibly important functions, vitamin C is mainly essential for our adrenal function and our body's ability to adequately handle stress of all kinds. Adequate intake of vitamin C is crucial to heal adrenal dysfunction. So vitamin C is a big one. Make sure you're taking a good one. Again, I'll leave what I take in the caption. And then a multivitamin. I already had the multivitamin and vitamin C that I was taking. This multivitamin I'm taking, it's pretty basic to other like higher end. I don't know if people refer to vitamins as high end, but it's a specialty multivitamin, mineral premium complex. This one's by Stallop, which is actually a local brand, a local pharmacy, like a health food store near me in Manasquan, and he makes these himself. But it has all the basic things in it. I'll leave a link or leave what's in it below. But if you get a high-end multivitamin, it should say to take 2 tablets per day. From what I'm hearing is those one-a-days are not good. But those are the supplements. That's my supplement protocol. So I think I went over just about everything. I did ask you guys to send me questions that I could answer in the video. I didn't ask it very long ago, so there might not be many questions, but I'm just gonna go through them and see what you guys asked. How do you know if you have it? I think I do, but I can't go to a doctor right now. So I believe there's cortisol saliva test that you can order online. So you could try to do one of those. I personally don't know which one is the best or where to go for that. So you could do your research on that. You of course could work with Dr. Neville, but it is a 6-month treatment. It's a little expensive if you're not like desperate for treatment. So I would suggest getting a cortisol test through saliva. You could start with a cortisol test through blood. That's just one time. It's usually done at 8 in the morning. You have to fast for that, and your doctor could order that for you, and you could just go to like a LabCorp or something and get that done. Is there anything that has helped your symptoms diet-wise, adding or avoiding? So that was another thing that has been huge. So when you have adrenal fatigue, it's suggested that you eat a hypoglycemic diet, because hypoglycemia is another symptom of adrenal fatigue, which is why that was happening to me. I'm still learning this, but the hypoglycemic diet, but from my understanding, this is like the dummy version of it, you have low glucose. Hypoglycemia means you have low glucose or it leaves your body quickly. So it's not good to eat high sugar items, because that's just gonna mean you're gonna feel good like real quick. Your glucose is gonna shoot up and then it's gonna shoot right back down and you're gonna feel like you're gonna pass out. So eating fruit, candy, drinking soda, all those things that people think are good when your sugar's low is not good. It's gonna make you crash again. The thing to do if you do feel like you're gonna pass out is, yeah, you can eat like a piece of candy, something, but you have to follow up with protein, just to keep your sugar levels stable. So like before I go to bed at night, I make sure I eat a little protein. Like a lot of times I'll eat like half of a turkey burger, like a little piece of fish or something, even just like a spoon of peanut butter, something that's has protein and is easy to digest. Like my doctor said, I used to eat almonds before bed, and he said even those are a little hard to digest and probably wouldn't stabilize me as much because I'm not even digesting them through the night. Because I was waking up at like 3, 4 in the morning every single night feeling really shaky, really trembly, like I'm gonna pass out, and I assumed it was a panic attack. I assumed it was anxiety. Meanwhile, it was a hypoglycemic attack for my glucose levels. So that's something. So if you think you have adrenal fatigue, it might be good to follow a hypoglycemic diet. You can probably find that on Google or on Pinterest. Let me see if, I think I have it somewhere. Hold on one sec. So these are some tips for a hypoglycemic diet. There are 3 main tenets to a hypoglycemic diet. You want to eat small, frequent meals, 3 to 6 per day. I noticed that I can't eat big meals anymore. I believe that's because my body has to use so much energy to digest it. And then I would get that anxious, like panicky feeling after I would eat. And it would just be because my body was working so hard to digest. And I was thinking I was having a panic attack every time I was eating. So now when I eat like smaller meals, I'll save the rest of my dinner for later. And I eat it before bed. So eat protein, including fat, with each meal. Eat low or no sugar and refined carbohydrates. So that's very important. You want to eat minimum of 3 meals a day. Although some of my patients feel best when they eat something every 2 to 3 hours, it's important to consume a protein like meat, fish, dairy, eggs, or nuts, and seeds with each meal or snack to prolong the elevation of glucose in the blood. Avoid straight sugar, candy, sweets, cookies, donuts. Also, caffeine is really bad if you have adrenal fatigue or hypoglycemia, because you're boosting your adrenaline and cortisol, and you're gonna feel exhausted. Like I can't drink caffeine at all. Avoid foods that you're allergic to. So getting a food allergy test might be good. Eat whole foods, organic, free range, and local. So some things I do is I either used to skip breakfast or like eat a bagel or something really carby, and that would make my glucose shoot down, because bread, like if I'm eating a bagel, bread's going to turn into sugar very quickly, and it's going to make your glucose drop very fast. So if you're noticing you're tired after that, it's because you need a better breakfast. So sometimes I'll eat like dinnery or lunchy stuff for breakfast. I'll have some eggs, and I actually put some arugula or a little salad next to it with lemon and oil, salt, that Himalayan or sea salt, that's really good for you. But the whole point of healing adrenal fatigue is taking stress out of your life where it's not needed. I hope some of this information helped you. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I will answer them for you. Please follow along this journey with me. I hope it helps you. I hope you learned something. And yeah, let me know if you end up working with Dr. Neville. If you're watching this years from now, check in with me. My Instagram's gold a la mode. I hopefully won't be changing that. And subscribe. I love you guys.